Hello, good evening and welcome everyone to a great evening's racing. This is round 4 of the Flat Out E-Racing V8 Championship. This is coming live from Japan. We've got a grid of 12 cars out there tonight. We've got 15 drivers entered for this championship. So we've got nearly a full turnout. We know a couple of guys are away. Great news is we are looking forward to quite a race tonight. We've got a longer circuit, and the great advantage of this new race format that we've got a 10-minute qualifying, which is just starting, so the guys are on their out lap. Oh, and Cajun's got it wrong into the gravel already. So that's a case of over-enthusiasm on cold tyres there, so he won't be impressed with that one at all. But just as I was about to say, we've got a 10-minute qualifier. So the guys are out on the qualifying out lap at the moment, so we're not got much to report at the moment. But then we've got a 40-minute race, and during that, with tyre wear and fuel usage at 5 times normal, they will need to pit. And there's been quite a lot of chatter, I've seen particularly today, about whether it's going to be a 1-stop or a 2-stop, because in the previous rounds we've seen, it's fallen one way and another, depending on the track and driving style, that whether people are going lift and coasting and can drag it out to make a 1-stop work. So there's no definitive way that you can go to actually win a race at the moment. 1-stop is not going to be over the top on 2-stop, and it also depends on driving style as to whether or not you can make it that far. On to other matters, looking at where we are after round 3 as the drivers are coming round to start their qualifying lap. We'll just hop on board with Season4, who is coming up to the Casio chicane, and not looking like he's gone a little bit deep there actually. But Season4 currently is our leading driver. We've had 3 rounds, he's had 3 wins, so he's really the guy in form now at the moment. In second place is Lockstech. He's on, Season4's on 75 points, and then Lockstech is in second place. He's been in all 3 rounds, and he is currently on 50 points. But I believe, just looking down the list, I don't think he is with us tonight. We'll just check. Let's just move further down the list. No, I was right. He is not with us tonight. And another driver that's not with us tonight is Select. He's not available. He's currently in third place on 48 points. And then Dan, who also I don't believe is with us, Dan TGT, he's in fourth place on 46. And then the guy who is currently showing as first, because he's first on the track, is Stormfly, who had a very competitive drive last week at Blue Moon, and made from memory made quite a different strategy work there, so he's the driver to watch. And another one to watch on variable strategy is the guy in 6th place, who's Timorous, who is very good at making a 1-stop strategy work. He's very economical on the tyres and on the fuel. And then in equal 6th at the moment, also on 42 points, is Pineapple Ahead. And going a bit further down, in 8th place, about 20 points behind, is Cajun 100, and then Snod 77 is in 9th, and he's with us tonight, I believe. Yeah, there he is. And in 10th is Alispert. So it is still quite a tight field. The one who is making the breakaway, though, definitely is Season4. So here we go. We're going to get some time lapse now in as they come around onto the main straight. First through, Stormfly, just over 2 minutes, 2 minutes point 465. Cajun 100, 202. So who we got coming next? Timorous with a 2013. Now we know he can make his tyres and fuel last, so get to the front. Oh, Danny's with us. Sorry, I hadn't spotted him. I'll take it back. Danny's with us at 159.7. Very quick. Matteo 202, Snod 201. So that slots him in 4th. Lockstech. Oh, I got it wrong. Sorry, it was Select who's not with us tonight. Lockstech is with us tonight, but that's a 2019. So not particularly up right at the front there. Bartek is a new driver. He's 216, so I reckon he's just getting his eye in. Corky 211. Mark Parker 222. Now that must have been a little bit of a mistake there, I think, because that's quite a gap. And Blue Jones, he's in at 210. So everybody's got their first lap in. We've got just under 5 minutes remaining. So it will be interesting to see whether anybody decides to jump back into the pits and take a fresh set of tyres, but it doesn't look like anybody has done. One of the problems is with the length of the lap on this one, sort of around about 2 minutes, it's such a loss to go back, change tyres. You lose all that opportunity to gain a lap time because you've got a 2 minute out lap to complete before you can get round. So these guys are staying out and just trying to get their eye in to see whether or not they can get it anything a little bit quicker. So let's have a look down to see if we've got any guys that are bringing it up a little bit further. Blue Jones there and Corky and Bartek. These are drivers which I think are going to move their way up the field quite considerably. Blue Jones there in 8th. That's a level I'm sure he'll be quite pleased with. But I think some of the guys behind him, Corky, Bartek and that, didn't get in a representative lap on that first attempt. So let's move back round so we can see who's moving towards the end of the lap. That's Dan. He's on currently on pole. Stormfly has actually gone for the pit, so only got 3 minutes 30 remaining. So I'm surprised by that because he's going to have to go and do another outlap, which is going to take him at least 2 minutes. So he's going to have one shot to try and get this even quicker. So Dan is staying out. I think that might have been Stormfly coming out in the background. Yes, it is. So he's on his outlap now, but he does have a fresh set of racing super softs. So it'll be interesting. Here we've got some new times coming in. Timrose with a 2:01. Here's got him up to 3rd. Corky, that's more representative, a 2:05. Then Mark Parker with a 2:04. That brings him up into 8th. And Blue Jones, unfortunately, with those faster times, has been shuffled down slightly there. So let's have a move back, see who we've got. Oh, Locksteck's going in for another set of super softs as well. He's cutting that really fine. We've only got just over 2 minutes 40 remaining. So let's hop on board with somebody who's fairly close. So Locksteck has just hopped out of the pit, so I'm going to hop on with him while we're waiting for the drivers to put in a new lap time. Oh, Blue Jones looks like he's parked up, maybe working on something on setup. He'll need to get a move on if he wants to get another flying lap. So let's just talk you around this fantastic Suzuka circuit, built in the late 60s, owned by the Honda Racing Corporation. It's well known for holding Formula 1 Grand Prix, has previously held MotoGP, but that's now moved to twin ring Motegi. So here we go, down to the famous Degner curves. Down a couple of gears for the first one, then down another gear for the second one. There we go, second taking a big chunk of curve on the inside. That bridge is the track which goes up to 130R. Here we go, round to the hairpin, down possibly the first gear. No, he can hang second gear on this one. So I'm keeping an eye, a few people across the line, see if anybody's putting fresher times in. Dan's gone even quicker, he's done a 1:59.3, so I think that's his slam dunk, his pole position, and he's obviously confident. He's gone straight for the pits on that one. He won't be able to get another lap in. So here we come around the final part of Spoon Curve. Exit on here is so important. You can run that curve on the exit, and then here we go, absolutely flat out through the gears as we head up towards 130R. Oh, Sincor! Oh, he snatched that pole. Dan had got his feet up in the pits, but Sincor has slid through a 1:59.374. There is just, I think, 2 100s between them. Here we go, into the Casio triangle. Big chunk of curve on the entry, big chunk of curve on the exit. So here we go, we've got 40 seconds remaining. So guys on a lap can actually continue and complete them when the time runs out in just 30 seconds. So here we go, down to this first corner. So the first down 2 gears, and then down another couple of gears. Oh, he's hanging up. Yeah, he's down to second on that one, and there we go. That completes lap as we go back around the S's again. So let's come away from the onboard on that one, and let's just see if we've got who we've got movers and shakers. Sincor has backed out of it. So Dan, we know, has moved into the pit, so that's his job done. Look at that, just 0.015 of a second between them. Absolutely incredibly tight there. Stormfly, he looks like he's on a lap at the moment, coming up to the 130R, and he's half a second up at the moment, but I don't think that's going to be enough, and this last sector is quite short. It's just this final Casio chicane. Let's see whether he can do anything. He went in and went for a fresh set of tyres, so here he comes, taking the shortest run to the line, and no, he carried that half second improvement, but didn't get any quicker. Timorous there, he's in fourth. Snod looks like he's spun out. That looks like he was at the Degners. And then Lockstack, a driver we know is pretty competitive. He's out there at the moment. Let's see where he flashes through on the final intermediate time. Oh, Corky's just gone through with 2:04. So Lockstack's, Bartek, new driver there, fantastic. He's leapt straight into third position. So the new guy's done good. He got his iron eventually. So fantastic bit of driving there from Bartek. So it'll be interesting to see where he can carry that speed into the race. Lockstack comes through. He's got himself back up to fifth. So I think that's just about all the guys finishing now. We've got one or two guys still out there. Just trying to see who's still completing a lap. Let's just work our way down the field. Timorous we know is finished. Snod is on the lap. He's currently in 7th place. He's going to be the last guy to cross the line. He's coming up to the final chicane. Hard on the brakes here. Oh, could have taken the bigger chunk of curb on the entry there. Here we go. Oh, and it looks like he's carrying a bit of damage according to his dashboard down there on the bottom left. And we crossed the line. No, he hasn't improved there. So I don't think we've got anybody else completing a lap. So that is our qualifying done. So let's just wait for this all to reconcile. I wonder if there's somebody out there that has not completed the lap but is going slow, because normally at this point the game picks up and it goes straight to race, but I'm sure it will be there for us shortly. Let's just have a look, see if we've got any activity on the chat. No, none whatsoever. So if you're listening to me out there, come on the chat, please come and say hello. Be great to hear from you. Let's hear who your tips are for a win. The other thing I can just talk to you about while we're waiting for the race to start is where we are in the championship. Well, we're halfway through. There's 8 rounds. This is round 4. Next week we're off to Dragon Trail Gardens, then to Interlagos in Brazil for round 6. Sardegna A is round 7, and finally we're back to Japan for round 8, which will be at the Fantastic Fiji, which is a great circuit, gives us great opportunity for overtaking. So here we go. Season4 in pole, Dan second, Bartek, the new guy, in third, and we know he's been extremely competitive in qualifying. Can he convert that to race pace? We know Dan is very much a thinking driver, and Season4 is extremely quick as well. So let's be interested. We're waiting for the lights to go, and we're away. Here we go. It looks like they've all got a good clean start. Bartek looking a little bit racy there at the moment, seeing there's a way round Dan, but he decides to go on the safer side of it. So Season4 takes the lead round first section into the S's. Dan still second, Bartek third, Stormfly, Lockstack. So it's all gone pretty much as the order from qualifying at the moment. So here we go as they work their way up out of the S's. All looks very well behaved at the moment, which is a great thing to see. We'll just focus slightly further back because I can see it all getting a little bit tighter. It looks like Lockstack is looking quite racy at the back of Stormfly, so we'll just hop on board with him. Everyone, oh hello, it looked like Timorous was getting a bit matey there with Matteo. Here we go, up to the hairpin. Occasionally you can see a dive down the inside on the brakes here, but we're not. Oh, and Lockstack got it all sideways going out of there, but it doesn't seem to have lost him too much as they head off out towards Spoon Curve. So here we go. This is all very well behaved for the first lap, so I'm waiting for the fireworks to kick off. So Oh, Locksteck's run wide there. We caught him just at the right time. He got onto that green AstroTurf on the exit. Oh no, and he's caught Cajun 100 on the way back in. Oh, and he's spun right out now. Luckily he's ghosted, so the guys behind him have got in front. So that's going to cost him badly. He's dropped right to the back of the field there, Locksteck. So I don't think we're going to get a full replay of that one. No, we're not. Locksteck is back of the way. So let's hop back up the front and see what's happening. So this group at the 4 at the front look pretty close to each other still. Syncor is not really getting away, but there is a bit of a bigger gap there between Syncor and Dan. Bartek is looking extremely racy behind Dan. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to hop on board with Bartek. We're going to see Stormfly large in the mirror and Dan right in front of us. So this is where the action's at the moment. So we're keeping an eye also on Locksteck, who's tumbled his way all the way to the back of the grid with that mistake at Spoon Curve. Be interested to see how these guys are going to shake out after a few laps on tyre wear. Remember, we've got a 40-minute race. Oh, and I think Bartek made a little bit of a mistake there. Stormfly came right up onto him. Let's have a look back at him, shall we? Here we go. Stormfly's looking a bit racy. Is he going to go down the inside there at Degda 1? Oh, there was a bit touchy-feely there. I'm not quite sure exactly if there was anybody responsible for a mistake there, but Bartek got overtaken there by Stormfly. So Stormfly's up into the podium positions. So Stormfly's obviously, as I mentioned earlier, competitive in the championship, so he'd have been keen to get by Bartek to make sure he gets the points. Now behind him, Mattio's carrying quite a penalty there. Now the rules are he does need to shake that penalty before the lap is over, so he needs to start thinking about dropping that one. I imagine he's got the temptation that in front of him is Bartek in 4th, and oh there, we've lost Corky. Oh dear, sorry to say that, we're down to 11 drivers. But Bartek is really under pressure there from Matteo, but Matteo needs to be thinking about dropping that penalty. And in the background there is Timorous, a driver that we know can eke out his fuel. If we're looking at 2 stops, we expect the drivers in around about 13 minutes into the race. So that's with time remaining on the bottom right will be down to about 27. So Bartek looking a little bit scrappy there again. Now in the background, Matteo needs to be dropping that penalty. He's still carrying 0.9, otherwise he's going to be up in front of the stewards. So let's work our way back a little bit at the moment, see who's doing what. Timorous is a little bit on his own. I'll be interested to see where his dashboard is at the moment. So looking at that, he's racing soft, so he's not gone for the softest option on the tyres. But he's used about quarter of a tank so far. So he's definitely, I would say, on a one stop, because if he's used quarter of a tank, that's 5 minutes, so 4 quarters would be 20 minutes, so that will get him to halfway in the race. So Timorous is definitely going for a one stop, so we'll hop around the others and see if we can work out what the other guys are up to. So that's Timorous currently in 6th place. 7th we've got Snod. So he's again a little bit out on his own, 1.7 behind Timorous in 6th and about 2.2 in front of Cajun. And interestingly, we see Locksteck, who had dropped right to the back of the field in 12th, would have got up to 11th with the retirement of Corky, has now also got himself up to 9th, so he's working his way through. So his next target is Cajun in 8th. So we'll just hop on board with Cajun, see how he's getting on. So I think he's down about 8th in the championship at the moment, but he's still plugging away there, and it's all about consistency with this, getting good points in each round. So it'll be interesting to see how he shakes out as the championship goes on. We're not even, points wise halfway through yet, so I'm sure Cajun will keep plugging away. And there we point Locksteck, who we've mentioned already, made that mistake on lap 1, went out onto the AstroTurf at Spoon Curve and ended up in that spin, so he's working his way back up. So in 10th we've got Mark Parker, who I know was looking forward to battles with Corky tonight, but unfortunately Corky has left us, so he will not be getting involved in those battles, I'm afraid. And it looks where him and Blue Jones are at the moment, I think they must have made some form of mistake. Let's go onto his dash. Oh, he's got big damage as Mark Parker. He's obviously working his way back to the pit, so he must have had an incident somewhere. You see on the bottom left of your screen, depending on the resolution, his car is flashing, its heart is flashing red badly, so I would imagine he's going to be heading for the pits for repairs. So yes, he is. So that, unfortunately, is probably going to spoil any strategy that he had to work around that. But it has promoted Blue Jones up to 10th. So new competitor this season in the V8 Championship. So working his way up to speed. But looking at his current position, I think he must have had a little bit of damage as well. But he looks like he might be trying to eke that out. Looking at his fuel usage at the moment, I think he might be looking to eke that out to a one-stopper. So he may come into play a little bit later on. So let's hop back up the front and see what's happening. Sincore's still in the lead. Dan second. Bartek is back up into third, unseen by us. That Stormfly got by him into third, but Bartek, he was looking a little bit loose earlier on, but he's worked his way back up. So let's just hop through these front runners. So Sincore has pulled out about a 2-second gap in the championship. In the lead over Dan, and he is also the leader of the championship, which is what I was actually trying to say there. And then up into third. Look at this. Bartek and Stormfly are really going at it. 130R. This is bravest of the brave. Up to the Casio triangle. At the background, Matteo still seems to be carrying a penalty. Hopefully that's not that one that he had from a couple of laps ago. Otherwise, he is going to get a slap on the wrist by the stewards. So Bartek there in third, Stormfly fourth. We'll come back to that battle. We'll just hop down and see if there's anything with anybody working quite close. So Matteo, as we mentioned, he's got that penalty. But looking in the background, I think we're going to see a pass here by Lockstead, because he's right on. Go look the other way, going down the inside at the first corner. Of Cajun. Cajun's they're now appearing in the rear view mirror. So I don't know if he's got anything to fight that one back, but that's Lockstead, who dropped to 12. He's now back up to 8th with just over 31 minutes remaining. So Lockstead's next target up the road is Timorous. Now I think he's going to be a little bit more of a challenge, because Timorous has got good pace, and he is also somebody that tends to go for the one stop. So let's look at Lockstead, see what he's doing. So he's got under half a tank with 31 minutes remaining. So I don't think, unless he changes his driving style, he's not going to make this on the one stop. So the likes of Timorous may well come back into play here a little bit later on. So let's have back front. So Sincore, we know, still in the lead. Looking at his dash, he's gone just under half a tank with 30 minutes remaining. So I think with a little bit of fuel management, he's going to eke this out to a one-stopper. Which, if he's got this pace and he's only going to stop once, he's got this fairly much in the bag if he doesn't make a mistake. Dan behind him is dropping away from him slightly. He was 2 seconds, it's now 3. And looking back, we've missed. Stormfly has worked his way back up into third place. But Bartek is certainly not giving this one up. We're going to stick with this battle, because I think this is where it's in action. So Bartek going to the outside for the first part of Casio, trying to get the inside for the second, but can't quite get that drive right round the outside. So Bartek still in fourth, Stormfly still in third. Matteo there lurking in the background, still has that penalty. Stormfly trying to shake off the toe from Bartek by weaving the car as he goes down the straight into the first turn. This is a difficult one to try and make a pass, but Bartek looked at doing it. Senna tried that on Prost, and they both ended up in the gravel back in about 1990. So it's one where you need to be brave to be able to take a pass then. Unfortunately, we lost another driver. Mark Parker has retired, sadly. So this battle between Stormfly and Bartek is bringing Matteo into play, but he does need to drop that penalty. He's going to get a clip round the ear when he gets in front of the stewards at the end of this race. So keeping an eye on who's doing what further down. I don't think there's anything dramatic too much happening, but we'll keep with this battle, because this is where the action is. So Stormfly and Bartek are very much close to each other's pace, but with this overtaking of each other, it's bringing Matteo into play in the background. He's still got that penalty, he's got to let that go. So we've got just under 29 minutes remaining. So I would imagine any drivers who are going to go for a two-stop strategy, and we do have someone in the pits. Let's have a look, see who that is. We'll just hop away from this battle quickly. Oh, Bartek! Let's see if we can get the replay running. So I noticed in the background there, Bartek had gone wide somewhere. So I think it was here in the spoon. This is what caught Locktech out earlier. Runs wide. He's on that AstroTurf on the outside, and it's like ice. As soon as you put your wheels on it, you're off. So unfortunately, we have this little glitch with our good friend at PlayStation. That it doesn't quite all work with. And typically here we go. We have got Stormfly into the pits. Sincor, I'm very surprised, into the pits. Right there. Oh, right. This is coming up to 13 minutes into the race. So we've got Stormfly, we've got Cajun, we've got Bartek, we've got Matteo. They're all into the pits. So interesting. Cajun is one going for the softs rather than the super softs of everyone else. But Dan is decided to hang it out. So let's see. Let's have a look at Dan's dashboard. So he's got. Oh, I think Dan may be trying to stretch this out to a one stop. If he has, I think he is going to be in the pound seats for this one. He won't have as good a tyre at the end, but those racing super softs are looking definitely worn. If he can hang this out for another 7 minutes, and I think he's got the fuel to do it, looking at his fuel gauge there, that I think Dan could be in the pound seats for this race. So the other guys that didn't pop, Timorous, I always knew was going to go for a one stop. So, but he has already got Sincor right behind him. Sorry, I got that wrong. I thought I was messing up who I was looking at there. That's Snod and Timorous, both of which haven't stopped yet. Sincor is 7.5 seconds behind Timorous, and Sincor is the first of the two stoppers who've already pitted. Timorous is desperate. Oh, he's got Snod there, going door mirror to door mirror around Spoon, and Timorous has got the move done, but Snod's not giving it up. Oh, there was a little bit of a push there from Snod. That was a bit. Oh no, guys, keep it clean. That's getting silly now. So here we go, up to 130R, flat out if you're brave enough. So I reckon Snod's going to come back here at Casio. Here he goes. He's looking to go down the inside. Oh, he's giving a. Oh no, guys, that's not how we want to play in this game. So Timorous hangs on to it despite getting a healthy shove round the Casio chicane there. But Snod has pulled out of the fight and he's gone for pit, so he's into the two stoppers. So I will just look quickly at Timorous's dash. Yeah, he's very much on for the single stopper. So as I said in my preamble before the race, I think we're going to see the one stoppers maybe coming into play here, and Timorous is one of them, and Dan I think is the other one that's going to try and get in for a single stopper. So Snod's in there, still in the pits. The pit stops on this time-wise have improved considerably over the life of this platform, because originally you used to be able to dive in for a pit stop and you'd only lose about 7 seconds, whereas now you lose somewhere around about 25-30, which is obviously much more realistic. So at the moment, Sincor looks like he's actually losing a bit of time from where Timorous was, because he's picked up a penalty as well. That's certainly not going to help his case. I'll imagine that was going, and Sincor given a perfect example there of what you're supposed to do with a penalty. He got the penalty and he's eased off the throttle, burnt the penalty up straight away, and is clean and off to race again, which is how it should be done. So Bartek, oh look, there's Matteo. Is he still carrying that same penalty? If he is, I can't believe it. It's been lap after lap. But Matteo is one of the ones that pitted as well. So the one that has lost out in that pit stop strategy is Stormfly, because he's dropped, 3.2 seconds behind Matteo and Bartek. So I don't quite know what happened there. Whether that was he went in longer on fuel or did something different in the pit stop. But he's dropped away back from those two guys. He was wheel to wheel up to their pit stops. So we've got back. Snod has come back out after his pit stop. He's in 7th, but that's only his first pit stop. He's not going to have enough to get to the end of the race, so he's going to have to come in again. So he's out of sync with where a natural 2 or 1 stop strategy would fall on the time of his pit stop. So I wonder if he's got the idea that his second pit stop will be towards the end of the race and he won't have to hang around so long for fuel. So in 8th we've got Cajun 100 coming around 130 there, about 5 seconds behind Snod. He's gone for the racing soft, so I'm not sure if that's a strategy to try and eke out his run at the for the middle stint. So his second pit stop means he's got less fuel and he doesn't have to stop for so long. And not having a good night at all is Locksec down there in 9th. He must have pitted because of where he is time-wise. So having had that spin early on, he's now down in 9th. So that's not going to do his championship challenging any good at all. I'm just going to pop back, we'll have a quick look at Blue Jones, who's just gone a little bit wide there, Spoon. That's one's catching them all out tonight, isn't it? He's not having a good time there at all. He's gone all a bit rallycross, and in the background, I think Danny's catching him. So we'll just hop back because we've got Timorous. Timorous has been overtaken by Sincor. So I think Timorous must have made a mistake there, because Sincor was quite some time behind and now he's not. So unless I missed something there, and if you can tell me what I missed, please hop onto the chat and let us know. So let's have a look what we got developing. We've got 22 minutes remaining, so not the end of this lap. I reckon the end of next lap, the one stoppers will be the guys coming in. So we'll keep an eye out for that. And the one stoppers are going to be Dan and Timorous. Now, interestingly, Dan has got 14 seconds on Sincor. So I think he can make this one stop work. It just depends on the level of pace between Dan and Sincor as the race goes on, because Dan's obviously going to have to take a lot more time over those tyres than what Sincor will with his two-stop strategy. So they've both got a pit stop to have, so and I think the pit stop loss is about 25 seconds. So it's going to bring Sincor into play, but it just depends what pace he's got when we've getting into that latter, I would say we're probably 5 to 8 minutes to go. We'll get an idea of what's actually happening. But interesting at the moment, the guys have done something which is really not good for the commentators. They've neatly spread themselves out at fairly even gaps the whole way round the circuit. But I think if we stick with Dan, we're going to see him come in for a pit stop at the end of this, and I think he'll be joined by Timorous. So I think those guys are going to drop out. We're getting some comments on YouTube, so we're just going to hop onto those to see what we've got happening at that one. Let's have a look. Speaker, he's a big fan of Bartek, and Dave Cannon's on with us as well. He says it looks like a good race tonight. So I think it's a race that's coming up to the boil, because I think we need to see what is going to happen with Dan here, because I think we've got just under 20 minutes to go. So we're going to see Dan dive into the pits here, if I'm right. And yes, I am. And I think the other one that we're going to see is his pit crew weight is Timorous, who has already been overtaken by Sincor, we know he's on a two-stop strategy. Now, I wonder if Timorous has got an idea, possibly go a bit longer or not. No, he's doing a straight 50-50 split on the race there. So those guys are dropping their way back, but we know Sincor has got to do another pit stop. So let's hop with Dan and see where he comes out. The fuel's going in. He's gone for the super soft. Timorous, interestingly, is going for the soft. Dan had really pushed it. He was down to his final 2 litres. So Dan comes out alongside with Matteo with that penalty that seems permanently stuck to his car. Matteo in 4th. So Dan has come out in 5th. So he's 26 seconds behind the leader. So the pit stop loss is bigger than I thought. So I think the lead he had was about 10 seconds, so it's about 35-second loss for a pit stop. So at the moment, if Season4 pits, he is going to come out behind Dan, and so is Bartek, and so is Stormfly, all of which, in fact, all of them in front of Dan have got to pit. So that will all come to fruition, I think, in about 5 minutes' time, when things start to get a bit tighter. So looking behind Dan, I think things are getting a little bit close, slightly further down. Timorous, he's come out in 7th, just in front of Cage 100 and Lockstep. So Timorous has dropped out in some clean air there, so I think he's going to be quite happy with that one, because he's got 7 seconds in front of him, where he is got sort of clear air until he catches up with Snod. And as we remember from earlier, Snod and Timorous had a little bit of panel bashing going on between them, so it'll be interesting to see where that develops. With the current gap between the two is just under 8 seconds, so Timorous is obviously getting his tyres up to temperature to see how he can start to bring that gap in. But there's an awful lot of guys in front of him who have got to pit, so we're going to get a shuffle in this race, and I think the shuffle is going to start somewhere around about between 13 and 10 minutes to go. So we've got a little bit of action happening a little bit further in front by the look of it. So that's Dan. He's now making his way back up, so he's catching up with Matteo, who is on a different strategy, so their race is not really with each other. But the important thing for Dan is he needs to get by Matteo quickly to keep his pace up. If Matteo's holding him up, Season4 could build a gap sufficient that he can dive into the pits and get back out in front of it. The crucial thing to look at is the number that's in the red background by Dan's name. That's 26 seconds at the moment, and that needs to be kept, I'd say, under 30 for Dan to come out, for Season4 to come out behind Dan when he does his pit stop. But Dan will be getting frustrated with this, because he's got more pace than Matteo, we know that, and he just needs to get by. But this is for track position. Oh, and that got a little bit feisty there, but I think he's got the move done. Look, oh, let's go external, I think, on this one. Matteo tries to hang on to it and just ran out of talent and adhesion all in one go. So Dan's got back up to 4th. Mind you, that one benefit, eventually we've seen Matteo drop that penalty. So, but Dan is now nearly 2 seconds in front of Matteo, with a massive amount of clear air in front up to Stormfly. Oh, who's gone off? Yellow. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. Driver there in the back. Oh, I think that is Blue Jones. Yeah, he's had another incident at Spoon. Spoon is the one that is catching them all out tonight. So, but he's got going again. He's still there in 10th, so we'll bank some championship points. So hopefully he'll stick with it. So we'll hop back up the front. So Bartek is about 15 seconds back from Season4. Both drivers have got to do another stop before the end of the race, and so is Stormfly, who is there. He's shuffled a little bit more back forward, but he's definitely lost out in that first round of pit stop. So I will let's just hop on board on his dash and see if he's done something different. No, he's not carrying a massive amount more of fuel, and it looks like he's going to need to pit within the next probably 2 laps, I would say. We can have a look forward to Bartek, and yeah, he's in a similar situation. So I'd imagine either the end of this lap or the end of the following lap, these two guys are going to be in for their final pit stop. So I think that is going to decide where those guys shoot out. And I think the other one we need to look at the dashboard is Season4, because yeah, he's similar on fuel to both the Bartek and Stormfly, because they're running sort of towards the end of that stint, so they will have to go in for a full pit stop. So I think this is the trigger is going to be pulled on this within the next lap and a half, I think. So we'll stick with Season4, because we'll see who is going to dive into the pit. So we've just ticked under 14 minutes remaining. So Season4 around 130 up towards the Casio chicane. is he going to pull into the pits? The pit entrance is just at the exit of this chicane. Is he going to pull right? Yes, he is. So let's hop back and see whether Bartek and Stormfly are going to do the same thing. The other thing, we just want to quickly hop across and look at Dan. Yeah, Dan's kept that gap to about 27 seconds. So at the moment, he is looking okay to take over the lead. So, yeah, Bartek's going as well. Stormfly just coming out of the chicane. Yep, and they're all in. So let's hop on with Dan, because this is the important guy at the moment, because he's coming around the final corner down the hill of the main straight. So they're all, and Massio's gone for the pits as well. Stormfly interestingly going for the soft, and as I predicted, Dan is going through into the lead. Sinkhole coming out of the pits behind him. So the gap is only about, let's have a look as it sorts itself out on the timer screen, they're around about 5 seconds. So it is about a 32-second loss at the pit stop. So that is quite painful for the guys doing that 2-stop. They have to make that 30 seconds up on track. So the ones that aren't going to stop again. Oh, the interesting thing to note is Timorous, who's on the 1-stop strategy, is still behind Bartek and Sinkhole. So his 1-stop strategy tonight is not overly working out for him. I think Stormfly is going to be not that far behind him. Let's have a quick look. He's 3.5 seconds behind, but he's got a fresh set of tyres. And Cajun 100, he's going for his pit stop as well. Let's have a quick look, see what he's up to. A fairly plain livery car there, but a nice yellow BMW. Wonder if it's had the factory recall to make the indicators work, because not many of them had. So let's have a quick look. Cajun comes back out, so that'll be his final stop. So that should keep him in a secure 9th place. So let's see what the gap is doing up the front. So Sinkhole currently 4 seconds behind Dan. He was about 5, so he can see him in the distance there. So this one I think is going to go for the wire. 11.5 minutes to go. I think Bartek is out of it. He's 20 seconds behind Sinkhole, and Timorous has moved up to 4th. So I would imagine that he has just got by Snod. So hopefully that was a bit of a cleaner manoeuvre than last time. Stormfly after his second pit stop, he's down, tucked down behind Snod. Stormfly's in 6th place, sorry, and Snod is in 5th, but Stormfly's just come out on those really fresh tyres, so I think Snod's got a bit out of sync with the others from memory. So Stormfly, yeah, Snod's just going in for his pit stop now, so that releases Stormfly, who's after Timorous. So Timorous, maybe that was a little bit unfair to him. He's 1 stop where he's starting to come back into it. He's not far behind Bartek, but I think Stormfly with those fresh tyres will have the pace, and he won't be worrying about anything lift and coast on the field to try and save field to get himself to the end. So I think this is the battle that's going to develop before the Sinkhole and Dan battle, but I will keep an eye on that one as well. They've still got a reasonable little gap between them, but let's look at Sinkhole. Fresher tyres, freshly refilled, so he hasn't got to worry about doing any lift and coasting into corners to save a little bit of fuel. He can just go absolutely flat out. But interestingly, he's got the gap down to under a second, and they're not that far behind Bartek in 3rd. Now Bartek, he's on the 2-stopper as well, so I thought he'd be pulling away more from Timorous. So maybe this isn't all over for the final podium position yet. I'm just keeping a gentle eye on Dan and Sinkhole, and there's still a little bit of a gap between them. So we're not missing any action up the front there, but this certainly isn't over yet. And Stormfly is looking quite racy behind Timorous as they go around Spoon. I think he may be looking either into 130R, which will be brave, or he will be looking at the Casio triangle. So here we go. Stormfly tucking under the back wing of that BMW in front. Timorous going defensive. They head toward 130R, the fast left-hander. But Stormfly's going to get the move done before they get it. He drives right round the outside. Fantastic move there. Has Timorous got anything to come back at him with? As they go into the chicane, if Stormfly hangs on to it through here, I think he'll have the move done, yes. So, Stormfly's next move, he's now into 4th. He's now going to be eyeing up Bartek, and they were battling earlier. So they've got 3 seconds between them at the moment. So I think I'm going to hop up to the front with Season4 in 2nd. Now he's now got that gap down to 1.7. So we've got 8.5 minutes remaining. This ain't over. The fat lady's not singing yet. So that gap has come down from just after the pit stop at 5 seconds down to 1.2 in around about 5 minutes. So, and you can see that it's coming down even more now visually. Both of these guys are filled to the end, but Dan has gone for the one-stop strategy, which means he may just need to be that little bit easier on the throttle to make sure he's got enough fuel to get to the end. So Season4 getting it, he's just got it down to just under a second. So here we go, up towards Spoon, this double apex left-hander. So trying to make sure they keep it away from that green AstroTurf, which is just like going onto ice. You end up like Bambi with wheels going in all directions. So down to 0.8 of a second. So I'll keep an eye on what's happening behind. It looks like Bartek is still safely there in 3rd, but interestingly we'll just hop back quickly because Stormfly has got by Timorous, but he's definitely not losing him. He's only a second behind. So as the tyre wear comes onto Stormfly, it may come back to Timorous. It may not be over yet. So he's certainly not falling away from the back of Timorous. And the other thing interesting is that Stormfly's not catching Bartek. That gap was below 3 seconds, I believe. So Stormfly's dropping away from Bartek. So that 3rd position on the podium looks safe at the moment. So, oh, here we go. Season4's right on Dan as they move into the S's. So difficult to overtake through here. I would imagine Season4 is going to wait a little bit. He may try down into the Degner curves, or he may play it safe. He's looking left, he's looking right. This is not really great opportunities. There's no real long straights here, but maybe, here we go. He's looking to go inside. He's got 2 wheels on the grass. We're down to the Degner, into Degner 1. Season4's looking to go Degner 2, slightly slower than the first Degner. No, he can't do it. So Season4's coming out there. He's on the wrong side for the next corner, which is going to be the left-hand hairpin. Dan's going all defensive. He's hanging on to this. He doesn't want to let Season4 by, but he's gone deep. Season4's coming out on the inside. Here they go. They're side by side as they head up towards Spoon curves. Season4's on the wrong side. Dan's holding his line. He's easing him out. So Season4's looking to go. He knows Dan's going to go defensive into the first part of Spoon. Dan's still got it. Look at this. Fantastic stuff. Round in the second part of Spoon. Now, where's Dan going to go? We're coming up towards 130R, and we know Season4 just seems to have a little bit more speed. Dan's sitting in the middle of the track. Season4 uses the grass and nearly takes the barrier with him as well. We're heading up towards 130R. Side by side, look at this. Bravest of the brave. Dan tries to snatch back in, but he can't quite do it. They're going up the Casio. Here we go. Down the inside. Here goes Dan. He's having another go. He's got it done. Fantastic stuff. Oh, and Season4's got it back at the second part, Casio. Dan's not giving this one up easily. It's fast, it's furious, and it's respectful. This is fantastic stuff. Dan's trying to get the slipstream down the main straight into the first turn. Has Season4 got this done? It's just 0.2 of a second. Dan's coming out. He's looking for it. Oh, he can't quite get it done. So tight, so tight. Look at this, magnificent. So, here we go, into the S's. No real overtaking opportunities here. So, round the left, round the right. Can Dan pull something out the bag here? He's got more tyre wear. Has he got the fuel to get to the end? I'm sure he has, but he may just need to be a little bit conservative. We've got just under 4.5 minutes to go. I think Season4 has just managed to pull out enough of a gap over Dan that he's just lost that little bit of touch. He's now 0.6 of a second. What a fantastic battle that was for the lead. Oh no, Dan's gone wide in the background. He's hit the barrier. I think unfortunately that probably has given him some damage. Yes, oh no, will he have to pit to repair that? That's finished the battle for the lead, unfortunately. But he's got 20 seconds on Bartek. Can he hang on? He's got just under 4 minutes to go. He's got 20 seconds. He's obviously trying to get the feel of that car to see whether or not he needs to pit. And he's keeping it going. He's dropping a little bit back from Season4 now. I think Season4's got this one in the bag, but it's whether Bartek, and I think we've got 2 laps to go. I believe, do my quick calculations in my head, that we will do this lap and there will be 1 minute remaining and then that'll be complete. Yes. So yes, we have 2 laps to go. Sorry, doing mental arithmetic while you're commentating is a bit too much for my little brain. So let's have a quick whiz back. I can't see any action further on, so we'll just have a quick run through the drivers. We'll keep an eye on the gap between Bartek and Dan, because it just depends how much damage Dan is fighting there. He's dropping away from Season4, but not at a massive rate, so I think he can hang on to this one. So Bartek in third, new drivers of the series, not a Polish entrance, qualified third, and he's going to finish third. So was in that battle there earlier on with Stormfly and Matteo, and he's coming out top on that one. So in fourth we've got Stormfly. He was a little bit further forward earlier on. We had some cracking battles with him particularly, and Bartek. But after that first set of pit stop, for some reason he dropped away. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I'm sure we might hear in the chat afterwards. So he just doesn't seem to be able to recover that gap after that first round of pit stops. And there in fifth, our one-stop specialist is Timorous. Was fighting there with Stormfly, but has now dropped away. He's about 4 seconds behind. But I think he's fairly safe there in fifth position. Matteo there in sixth, eventually dropped his penalty, which he seemed to have got attached to him for several laps. So I think there'll be a quiet word in his ear after the race. But I'm sure he'll be happy with that solid sixth. I don't think he's going to catch Timorous. We've got just 1 lap to go at the end of this lap. So Snod had that fairly robust battle with Timorous earlier and had his out of sync pit stops compared to the others, but that's shaken him out in seventh. Lockstech, he's had a few adventures tonight. He went off early on the first couple of laps on Spoon Curve, got out on the AstroTurf and spun it, dropped right to the back when we had 12 runners. He's worked his way back up there to 8th, 3.5 seconds behind Snod, but I don't think he'll be able to get by him before the end of the race. And then in 9th, we've got Cajun 100, who's the guy that actually sets this room up and hosts it, so we're all appreciative of that. He went on a slightly different strategy. I think he's gone on the softs, but he's still there. He's still on the lead lap, so I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that as a result. And then finally is Blue Jones, who is just coming up to be lapped by Season4, so that will save him a lap of fuel. And he's just moving over there and neatly onto the grass. Unfortunately, slightly too wide there, but he was making a rapid effort to get out of the way. So let's see how Dan is getting on with this damaged car. He's losing time hand over fist. He's lost about 7 seconds in a lap to Season4, but also been caught by 7 seconds by Bartek. However, I think he's got enough time as the clock ticks down with just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the time's out. So drivers crossing the line now, so they will finish. So Lockstech and Cajun 100 and I believe have already finished, so their positions are sorted. Dan, I think he's got a handle on this damaged car now, so he is keeping a steady 10 seconds over Bartek, but Season4 is still pulling away at quite a rapid rate, but he's going to get this to the finish. So unusual to see a mistake like that from Dan. He's usually one of our racers that's pretty much on a Skeletric scale, that he keeps it in the slot and doesn't tend to make any mistakes, tends to be fairly cautious through the traffic and doesn't take any unnecessary risks. So unusual to see a mistake like that from him tonight. Dan, he's now only got 8 seconds after Bartek, but he's coming through 130R, so I think he's got that one fairly covered. And Season4 crosses the line. There we go. There's our winner. Fantastic race. Made that 2-stop strategy work. Caught Dan, who went for the 1 stop. And then, of course, Dan just after Season4 got past him, he ran wide at the second Degner and lost a lot of time through the damage. Bartek coming through, flashing the lights, first time out with the V8s with flat out e-racing. I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that. So Stormfly, he's coming through in 4th. Dropped away, as I said, after that first pit stop, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Matteo coming through in 5th. Timorous in 6th. Lots of flashing lights and swervy steering wheel, so he looks very pleased with that. And next, I think the final racer coming through is Snod77. He's come through in 7th. So Season4 continues his fantastic march through the championship on this one, because that's 4 rounds, 4 wins. So that's going to give him 100 points. And second in the championship will be Lockstack. Not sure. I think he'll jump up onto about 68 points. Possibly Dan. No, I think Dan may, with that second place, may just jump Lockstack for second in the championship. So Select is going to pay a big price for not competing tonight. So, but maybe the other drivers with 4 rounds to go, they may end up having to drop rounds themselves. So there we go. We just see Season4 celebrating his victory, and we'll just hop up to give you a display of the race result there. So top 3 there, Season4, Dan and Bartek. And just to race back to tell you the where we're going next. Next week we're at Dragon Trail Gardens, and then Interlagos the following week, then Sardegna, and then Fuji. And if you want to click like and subscribe on the Flat Out E-Racing Championship YouTube channel, you can also see that on a Wednesday night we have a GT4 race, and that is really fast, furious and competitive. My great associate Jay will be doing commentary on that for us this week, so click the subscribe and you'll get the reminders to let you know that we're online. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the racing tonight, and we will hopefully see you again very soon.